Hello Andy, welcome to the club.
Thanks, Rob.
You've had a month or so now, get your feet underneath the table. How have you found the first month going?
Really challenging, exciting at the same time. Challenging in the sense that obviously trying to speak to the current squad and see what we can retain, but at the same time knowing that we wanted to add to it and bring some other players in. So typical of any manager at this time of year, it's been a real challenge. The excitement comes from starting something new and getting to know how the club works, the culture in the club and all the people around it. But yeah, we haven't really had a minute's rest really. It's been full on, and I promised the board that's what it would be. We said the first 30 days we set out some objectives and we've kind of ticked those off, and now we're into the next sort of 30 days working on the next set of objectives. But yeah, it's been great, just as I imagined it would be, and really enjoying it.
Good. Your previous clubs that you've had, Chesham obviously for many years. Which other clubs have you? I mean, did you play at all? As when you was younger?
Well, yeah, I'm not from round here. I'm Staffordshire, Stoke-on-Trent boy, and played locally there, the sort of Leak Town and places like that, and went off to university for a few years and played there, and then moved down here and just by virtue of where I was working, went to Potters Bar Town when they were coming through the ranks through the sort of South Midlands, and and then got into coaching at sort of 34, 35, and found I really enjoyed it, and I did the reserves there at Potters Bar Town while I was still playing in the old Essex and Hearts Border League. Did really well with what I had, and then I went off to Somerset Ambry, which is now Broxbourne Borough. Did the first team there, had a good couple of years there, and then Cheshunt came calling, and went there in 2002. Had a fantastic 3 years at Cheshunt.
Premier level, wasn't it?
Back-to-back promotions. They've been relegated to the old Division 3, then Ryman 3.
Right.
We won that. We came straight up, straight through, and they consolidated, went straight through Ryman 1 and into Ryman Premier.
Right.
So we had 4 or 5 cup final appearances, so it was a fantastic spell there. Then I did a little bit of coaching over at Wheelstone when I left Cheshunt, and then picked up at Chesham in 2007, so I've had a 10-year spell there, which is
made your own.
Yeah, pretty unique I think in any level of football, but had a fantastic 10 years there.
Yeah. Now you mentioned, I was going to ask you where you're from. You're from the Potteries.
Certainly am.
Yeah, and do you support the Stoke? Or
I do, yeah, born and bred, yeah. You don't, you're either Stoke or Port Vale.
Well, yeah.
So when I was growing up, because I'm older than I look, you used to go to, Port Vale was the old Division 4 and Stoke were Division 1. But my family, my granddads would take me to kind of alternate weeks just to get your football education, but Stoke was the club, so Stoke fan through and through.
Has there been any influence of the way Stoke play to the way you manage?
Not at all.
No.
Not at all. Not at all. I've liked to play a sort of a high tempo passing game from when I first got into coaching, and maybe you see a bit more of that at Stoke now, but in days gone by it's always been about survival, and there ain't been too much of that pretty football in the Potteries, but fair play to them at the moment. They're doing okay.
You've mentioned a couple of honours which you've won as a manager. Which is your most favoured and prestiged prize?
I've had sort of 3 promotions, which are always great because you're judged over a season. Probably getting Cheshunt at the time into the Ryman Premier Division. When Cheshunt, to be fair, I mean, I know the club now, it's facilities, but the facilities then were god awful, and we didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
And we put together a great side, and people like Steve Wales who've come here, they were in that team.
Okay.
And so I was really proud of that, given that I hadn't been managing that long. And I've had some fantastic times. Chesham was the same with promotion, but I suppose the standouts are the last couple of seasons with the FA Cup performances. I think to pit your wits against professional clubs and do as we did have been fantastic. They are the sort of standout moments, but I have to say I think promotions. We've picked up a number of trophies over the years, but I think promotions stand out for me because you've got to work hard. There's very little silverware to go around any level of football. I think to get promoted when you're playing 42, 46 games at any level is
full season. It's
something
merciless.
special. Yeah, it is. Yeah, relentless.
Yeah. The favourite club you've managed? Would it be?
Well, I've only been here a month. I have to say Chesham. I don't have to say Chesham, but it has to be Chesham because
of course.
I feel like 500 and odd games in charge, and I think the stuff that we did there with the infrastructure of the club and I suppose putting your marker down and the becoming a blueprint for how clubs should be run, with its reserves and its youth structure and everything else. And I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. I had sort of 3 different chairmen, and the supporters were fantastic to me from day one, and lots of players we signed and built probably 3 or 4 teams in that time. And I think just by the longevity, the amount of time I was there has to be I became part of the fabric, and there's no doubt you do enjoy that. But I've enjoyed wherever I've been. Yeah. Cheshunt was a fantastic time in terms of being a young manager and having that kind of season-on-season success and progression. But,
has there been a player that you've managed that has gone up to the pro game?
I don't think I have, no. I've had some very, very good players who I thought would go and do it, and have gone on trial and looked around at professional level, but never really had a player that...
You've had big ones come down.
Had big ones come down,
Barry Hells,
Matt Mitchell-King, and even at Cheshunt, people like Owen Cole and people like that.
Owen Coyle?
Owen Coyle, yeah.
Wow.
We've had some good players, but no, I've never really had anyone who's... Well, Connor Wood, a young lad we took at Chesham, who I'd known through youth football, and he went to Queen's School in Bushey, where my son was. We had a link there with their academy through Dave Reddington, and Connor came out to us and played pretty much a full season. Then he went off in the Nike trials and got picked up, but he's at Leicester City at the moment, so I'm sure Connor will make it. I think he's playing in their under-23s, so fair play to Connor, and I think we helped him enormously that year. We gave him a lot of football and got him ready. He had the natural bits, but
biggest disappointment in managerial? Can you recall that one moment you felt, I feel really down?
I think losing the playoff final in 2014 at Chesham to St Albans, where we'd chased Hemel down. We were 22 points behind, and we chased them down. We had lots of Tuesday, Saturday games, and the league sent us to Poole on a Thursday night, and we were not very happy about going. We lost in the very last minute.
Right.
And it just set us back, just as we were due to run into Hemel in the league over the Easter weekend. And fair play to them, they went and won it over that weekend. I think we lost at home to Stourbridge. And that was just... Then to go into semi-final and win, and to get in the playoff final, we had probably nearly 4,000 people in the ground. And we only turned up for 20 minutes. And I'll never take anything away from St Albans. They scored after we'd gone ahead. We looked like our old selves, but the disappointment of, as you say, goodness knows how many games we played that season. But actually, on the day, for the players we had and the run that we'd had to get there, I was just devastated. I don't think I spoke to anyone for probably 2 or 3 days afterwards. It was, but listen, I never ever take away from St Albans. On the day, they were fantastic. They'd come with a late run and had all the momentum. We thought we'd found it again, and I think we hit 95 points, which in the previous 10 years, any of the previous 10 years would have won you the league. Yeah. But Hemel, fair play to them, they'd gone and racked up the points and the goals. And just having worked that hard, and we had the resources financially to get where we did, it was just a huge disappointment with nothing to show in the end other than a runners-up medal, in the league. So
playoffs are all set up for drama anyway. And in drama, there's emotion.
Yeah, you've had some here, haven't you? Even this season.
We have.
Yeah. But that's the biggest disappointment, I think. And
certainly. Right, we've got some same as Darren. Your personal preferences. I couldn't find anyone that you've fallen out with or anything for me to put you in a difficult position. I managed to do it with Darren. He wouldn't answer me the questions.
Really? Oh, right. Yeah. Refused to answer.
Right. I asked Darren beer or lager. I'll ask you beer or cocktail.
Beer.
Yeah. Red or brown sauce?
Brown.
Cinema or theatre?
Cinema. Just.
Yeah. Black cab or Uber?
Black cab.
Yeah, good man. Des Lynam or Gary Lineker?
Des.
It's getting dark now, I can't read these. Ronaldo or Messi?
Messi.
Champions League or European Cup?
European Cup.
Okay.
Show me age.
Now, four questions. Do you think there should be a sin bin in football?
No, I don't. No, I don't particularly. No, I think we can manage the way we do it. I think with strong officials and I think we're absolutely fine as we are.
Could there be an orange card introduced from?
So somewhere in between the
a yellow and a red.
Red. Achieved to what end? What would the orange card mean?
I don't know, if someone's running through on goal, outside the box, it's normally just a yellow card and no other punishment. An orange card, he knows he'll miss the next game, for example, but it's just an orange card for that game.
I like that. I haven't heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
That's just one example.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
Okay. TV referrals?
Yeah, I think the way the technology is, I don't see why not. You know, it's all about the speed again, isn't it? And not killing the momentum of the game. I think it's always the objection, but I don't see why not. If it can be done in, you know, with the technology available and can be looked at in the dugout now, can't it? So, you know, I'd imagine it could be on the big decisions because the top end of the game is so much riding on it, isn't there? You know, it's,
And post-match punishment for divers?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can't stand it. Yeah. Any level. So one thing I will get angry about out here when I see it happen.
Yeah.
You know. But,
Andy, thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
The boys out there, you can see them working hard in training. Some fantastic players out there. And I think there's a...
Yeah, you watched the other night as well, didn't you? Some good spirit as well.
Yeah.
Considering we've thrown people together, we've got a lot of familiar players here, which is what we've tried to do to make sure we get that, you know...
I'm not sure whether you're feeling it, but there was a big depression when Bradley left, and then we were hearing this player's leaving, that player's gone. But since your introduction and the drip of these players coming into Enfield Town, I'm privileged to be part of the group chats. I'm privileged to talk to the hardcore supporters that are coming here painting and sweeping up. There's a big buzz about the place. You know, there really is. There's a big sense of excitement.
Since that last Thursday at the Forum.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't seen a Forum packed like that ever.
Fantastic.
You know,
and I did sense some of the frustration at players leaving, and you know, and I suppose sort of fans' favourites departing. But as I said,
that's non-league football.
There's very little I could do.
No.
You know, but I've done my best. I've tried again tonight with a player, but I'm afraid, you know, players have their own agendas at this time of year. Whether that's wanting to earn more money, play a higher level, or just a change of scenery, or they're uncertain about what we do. You know, it's very difficult to, and that's why Mickey Parcell and Kirby have been so important. You know, to convince them to stay. But you know, it's like it could change, couldn't it? And we're in that. You know, I've got players looking over the shoulder and wondering if they're going to stay with us. I'm sure those players who've left might be at clubs and they're doing the same at the moment. So, but I'm pleased. I really wanted to. You know, we want to give the supporters something to be, you know, pleased about right from the Amersham game. I'm not on about the first league game. Right from the first pre-season game, I want to see that we are, you know, we're organised. We've got some quality here. I mean, some of the players we've been able to be real. They'll be fans' favourites within a game or two because they're exciting players. So
now you've got 12 signed up now, is it? 12?
I think so. Have we about that? Yeah.
About that, and there's a few more to come.
Yeah, there are definitely. Yeah. We've been talking to a couple tonight. Again, it's a bit of compromise, bit of give and take. Players want to stay, but the demands are different than what we can afford.
Yeah.
And, you know, when we've looked at a couple, and suddenly, you know, one or two we thought were our type of players, maybe they're not our type of players, and so we said to Darren, we've got to be patient, you know, over the next few weeks, and you know, we might end up leaving a space or two right until the last week or so of the season. We get what we want, and those players we've spoken to, you know, and one came back to us this week that we didn't expect, and it's a moving feast, and but yeah, I'm you know, supporters like yourselves, you'll be here long after I've been and gone, and I just think, you know, when we're in, we want to make sure and we give you something to get excited about. We want to play a brand of football that's good to watch, and we want a hard-working team that's hard to beat, with those right characters, those characters who, when they walk in that bar on a Saturday or a Tuesday, the sort of guys you want to engage with, and you know, so so there's a method to it. We're getting there. So we haven't had lots of trialists, probably one too many tonight, but some young players in there that we're looking at that might be able to come and sign, and we might be able to push them out to clubs to get some experience.
Yeah.
So good mix tonight.
Thank you for your time.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ram.
Roll on the season.
Roll on.
Cheers.
Get rid of pre-season.